Happy Hump Day, friends! This will be a real quick post, I promise. I want to give you a line in because we started reading today. We didn't get very far. We just got a chance to glimpse the character of Scrooge, this main character of Scrooge. And you did some writing about getting into and connected with Dickens yesterday. And I'm asking you for homework, which you'll see right down below. It's your Sterno can, portable fire starter, right? It's those things that keep the buffet food warm, those little portable blue gel fire things. Okay, so that's your homework tonight. And I'm asking you to get into the mind of Scrooge now. Again, all of this stuff that we do is kind of worthless if we're not connecting to it, because when you don't connect, you can't use this stuff. But I reminded you, we had a nice little review session for about 10-15 minutes at the beginning of class about what this image is. We said that this right here is the key to understanding any literature, fiction or nonfiction. If it's story-based, this is it. Okay? It unlocks literally everything for you. And even life, by the way. I've been over enough times what all of this stuff means with literature that I won't waste a ton of time on it today. But I want to point out to you that this right here, this plot structure, is completely driven by conflict. Exposition, all the stuff that's been going on in our lives, all of our history, all of our this and that, it changes when a conflict is introduced. That sets the tension meter in motion. And eventually we have to make a decision that will eventually resolve our conflict. The only thing that makes this whole thing drive is conflict. Conflict is at the heart of all of this. You remove conflict from this, none of this works. So I was telling you that if you could identify that one piece in anything you read, or even in your life, if you can identify conflict, which is usually the easiest thing to identify for us as people, if you can identify conflict just by knowing how a story works, you can take that conflict and figure everything else out. And I just want to remind you that this works in life too. Because in life, we're moving along, right? Life is good, life is normal, life is whatever, and then boom, we have a conflict. We are who we are, we're moving along in life, and a conflict comes in. Boom, it changes our life's direction. I wanted to say trajectory and direction, then I came out directory, which is a different word altogether. It changes our life's path to the point where the tension gets so built up that we need to make a decision that will ultimately cause a falling action that we're out of control in. And we won't be able to really take a look at what's kept coming up over and over and over again in our lives, the themes in our lives, until we hit this resolution to this conflict here. But it's all born out of this conflict. Now when we're here in the resolution phase of our lives of the conflict that we've encountered, we can take a look back and see what's happened to us and see what's kept coming up over and over again. And just like in literature where we identify a main idea from all of those themes that changes a character, that thing that we can take from all this stuff that's come up over and over again is a lesson we learn in life that ultimately changes us and starts this whole process again. See, when an author actually creates this, the main idea is the author's purpose. And I suppose if you want to believe that there's a greater power at work, again, I'm not preaching, you know my beliefs, I'm not sharing them with you, but if you believe there's a greater power at work, that's the author in this case. The universe, or whoever you believe is in control of all of us, or whatever you believe is in control of all of us, is the author in that case. Life, the universe, whatever our experiences are, want us to learn this one thing. If you find yourself constantly in the same cycle of the same conflict, chances are good you never bothered to try to make a decision that would resolve it, that would ultimately teach you something that you could change yourself with and move forward in your life. This is why I always say, if they were to eliminate every other subject, you could still function in life. It wouldn't be as good a life or as complete a life, but you could still function as a human, healthy human being if you just had ELA. Because this right here is not only the key to unlocking nonfiction, fiction, anything with a story, it's also the key to unlocking your life, because your life is a story. Now, we're going to follow along Scrooge in this case. And so we can actually learn from Scrooge's life, even though he's fictional, all the lessons that he learns just by knowing how this works, following along his story, being a good reader and connecting with the reading. Okay? We can learn all of these lessons just by understanding how this works. It's like I was saying the other day. If you know how to fix a car, you know how to fix a car. Ford, Chevy, that doesn't matter. Yes, each make, model, year is going to be just a little bit different. But if you know how a car goes together, you may have to alter your knowledge a little bit, but your basic working knowledge of the structure helps you fix any car you want to, ever, in life. Same thing with this, understanding structure. So we're going to follow along this crotchety, mean old jerk, Scrooge. He's a jerk, right? We've seen it already. He loves that people are too scared of him to even walk near him. Even dogs go to the other side of the street. Because he treats people nastily. He's always walking around with that look on his face, that salty look, and he's mean, and he loves that. It's not really a good person to be, that Scrooge. That's why I said, girl, he humbugging. Right? Humbug. As we read, I want you to see how we turn from this humbugging to something else. Most of you are familiar with this story. But remember, if you can unlock the conflict, because this is going to be a little bit higher reading level than you're used to, if you can unlock the main conflict in this, which should be an easy thing for you to identify, the whole rest of the story is going to open up to you, and you're going to be able to connect, and you're going to be able to learn, even though this is a fictional character. And the book, by the way, was written 170 years ago. We're still connected to it today. This is the power of words, the power of literature, the power of story, the power of life. Make sure you're committing this to memory. If this doesn't all make sense to you, you've missed the point somewhere throughout the course of the year. Go back and review. Go back to your notes. Go back to other videos. Take a look at this video. Make sure you know this, because this is going to unlock worlds for you that you may not have seen otherwise. And I dig that about that. Just keep plugging. If this is hard for you, you're going to get it. Commit to knowing this, how it's all put together, and it's going to start clicking for you. I promise, but you got to put in the effort. Okay, I give you the tools, but you got to put in the effort to actually do the work. Okay? I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you very much.